Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and I'm just going to deliver the Crystal Ember to the Giant Blacksmith.
What's that? Shiny, shiny. Give me that. I make weapons shiny. Shiny, shiny. I make weapons shiny.
It's amusing. And now, as you can see, we can make crystal weapons. Or no, this is boss weapons, this is lightning. This is crystal. I could turn my longbow into a crystal longbow. Let's compare. Yeah, that would make it weaker, though the thing to notice, it would make my longbow weaker, but it wouldn't make it that much weaker. Now, it sounds strange that I'd make my longbow weaker, but the thing is, I'd be converting it from regular plus 14 to crystal effectively plus 10. So, to get it to this level of power, I'd be undoing 10 upgrades. Which then it's surprising that it only reduces its power by that much. Of course, the big problem is that it reduces the durability down from 100 to 10, and makes it impossible to repair. I'm not actually going to do this, I'm not planning on using the crystal weapon. Maybe against the final boss or something. But that's the unique dialogue that you get when you deliver the Crystal Ember. Next, I'm going to go pick up the Large Magic Ember and show you the unique dialogue from delivering it. Back in a second. Alright. As you may notice, we are in the tunnel leading up to the place where we fought Ceaseless the first time. There's something interesting here if you come back after Ceaseless is actually dead. So let's just quick run up here as it gets more and more crystal filled. And no fog wall because Ceaseless isn't here. And let's look around. And now that Ceaseless isn't blocking our view, we can see that this used to be archives. We get this chest, which is not a mimic. And we can pillage it for the Large Magic Ember. And let's look around. I'm told that Logan is supposed to be in here, but I don't believe I've ever seen him here. That he's supposed to be in here after you kill Ceaseless. And supposedly it doesn't have a whole lot to do with how much you did in his side quest. But I don't see him here. And I didn't come back here the last time, so... the soul of a great hero, who I guess died fighting Ceaseless. But that seems to be all there is to explore. Like I said, I've heard that Logan is up here with a unique sorcery. I kind of wanted to show that off, but I'm guessing there's more conditions you have to meet in order for it to happen that I didn't know about. So anyway, that's the end of that. I'm going to go deliver the Great Magic Ember to the person who can use it, and so I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm outside of Rickert's cell, and I have a new ember for him.
Hey, hang on. That's a sorcery ember, isn't it? Yes, it certainly is. First I've seen since my banishment from Vinheim. What do you say, friend? Mind giving that to me? This is no man's land. I'm the only one who could handle it anyway.
And it's all yours.
Yes, as you should. I won't disappoint you. I'm taskless no longer.
Alright, and once again, modify equipment. Now we have magic, enchanted, and more magic. Actually, I think this is large magic and this is enchanted.
Come back soon. Smithing helps soothe my nerves. Don't let me wither away.
Alright, now that we've done that, I've decided there isn't enough footage collectively in this to be a bonus video, so I'm just going to attach this to the beginning of the next video, in which I'm going to take on the Ceaseless Discharge, the first boss in the Demon Ruins. So, back in a second. Alright, we are nearly ready to take on the Demon Ruins, and before we do that, there's one last bit of preparation I want to do, and that's going to involve visiting the Fair Lady. So we're going to warp to Daughter of Chaos, and I'm going to feed her a lot of humanity. I want to max out the Covenant because the point where I need the shortcut that it gives me is coming up very soon. So, Just gonna bump my humanity up to 10 and then start offering it. Alright. If I had the old witch's ring, I would be able to understand what she was saying. Alright, this is a fairly tedious process. So, I'll get back to you when I've offered all the humanity I need to. Back in a moment. Alright, we are back. And you will see that I have received the Chaos Storm Pyromancy. It's like Firestorm, except it also leaves lava behind like Great Chaos Fireball. And that also means that I have received enough, I've leveled up this covenant enough to receive access to the shortcut. This is all we need. This takes a total of 30 humanity. Oh, also, if you look closely, the fair lady looks considerably more alive now. Alright, I'm going to dismiss that, and now I'm going to adjust my equipment a little bit. Mainly, there's no real benefit to being able to inflict fire damage anymore, so I'm replacing a lot of my fire damage dealing pyromancy with various kinds of stat buff pyromancy. Since, well, that will serve me better. That will serve me better where I'm going. Alright. And so I got Flash Sweat, Iron Flesh, and Power Within. Flash Sweat is the main one I'm going to be using. Got 20 uses of my Estus Flask thanks to Firelink Shrine. Now, let's head towards the boss. Head out of Quelaag's domain. Actually, however, before we take on Quelaag, there is one other bit of there is one other thing that I want to do, which is I do want to talk to Quelana again. So I'll be back in a moment with that conversation. Hello, everyone. There's one last thing we want to do before we go to take on the Demon Ruins, and that is talk to Quelana.
Ah, truth be told, the Witch of Izalith. Please, do not speak of her. I abandoned my mother and sisters. And fled to this land. Now I roam these parts, feigning ablution and pretending to seek answers.
Let's talk to her again.
Pyromancy is the art of invoking and manipulating. But remember, always fear and hate.
Now we're
well, young pupil, but do not.
Now we're beginning to see what's actually going on. So, in other words, we're beginning to see what's actually going on. Now, basically, the way it works is you have to leave the area and come back and talk to Quelana several times. So, I'll be back in a second after leaving and returning. So, one moment. Alright. We're back. Let's see what she says this time.
Ah, there you are. I was expecting you. Let us begin. I have a favor to ask. My mother, the Witch of Izalith, was one of the primeval lords. Her power came from the soul that she found near the first flame. She focused this power to light a flame of her own. But she failed to control it. The flame of chaos engulfed Mother and my sisters, and molded them into deformed creatures. Only I escaped. And now I am here. But my mother and sisters have been in anguish since. I beseech you, free Mother and my sisters from the flame of chaos. I cannot do it myself. I lack the strength and the bravery. But you, I realize what I am asking. But please, free their poor souls. Mother's ambitions were misguided, no doubt. But surely 1,000 years of atonement is enough.
Well, that was a pretty significant statement.
Well, young pupil.
I'm going to quick use. Finally managed to get poisoned. Quick use, where's my moss? There we are. Quick use a purple moss clump. Got plenty of those from Deep Root Garden or Dark Root Garden, I'm not really sure which. But that was a pretty significant statement. So, yeah, you may remember from the intro, the people who received Lord Souls were Gwyn, who we haven't met yet, Nito, who we've killed, the Furtive Pygmy, who we won't meet, but who is mentioned in the... plays a significant role in the other ending, the alternate ending that we're not going for, and the Witch of Izalith, the founder of Flame Sorcery. Now, the Witch of Izalith had several daughters. I think she had 7, but I don't remember offhand. Of those, the ones we have met are Quelaag, the boss whose soul turned into my sword, the Fair Lady, who gave us a Great Chaos Fireball, Chaos Storm, and will allow us to complete Solaire's side quest, and Quelana. Quelana is actually the last fully surviving daughter of the Witch of Izalith. What happened was, when the first flame started to die out, which happened a long time ago, apparently 1,000 years ago, according to Quelana, the Witch of Izalith attempted to use her own Lord Soul to relight the first flame. But she lost control of it. It created an entity known as the Bed of Chaos. The Bed of Chaos creates demons and warps everything that gets close to it. It turned both Quelaag and the Fair Lady, who is Quelaag's sister, into what they are. And it's also the source of all the demons we've been fighting, such as the Asylum Demon, the Stray Demon, the Taurus Demon, and the Capra Demon. So, it turned the Witch of Izalith into kind of a part of itself. But she still has the Lord Soul, which we need. Quelana asked us to kill the Witch of Izalith, who essentially has become the Bed of Chaos, as well as her other sisters, her other sisters including Quelaag. Now, we do not have... It sounds like Quelana just asked us to kill the Fair Lady, but she actually didn't. We do not have to kill the Fair Lady in order to complete the side quest that Quelana just tasked us with. We do have to kill Quelaag, who you have to... I'm not sure you can get that side quest before you've defeated Quelaag, but even if you can, you do have to defeat Quelaag, as well as a couple others that we will encounter later on. Also, it turns out I was wrong. These egg carriers will actually sometimes... Some of them actually are hostile and will come after you, but they move so slowly that it's really easy to outrun them, so I still don't recommend fighting them. I think they actually give fewer souls than generic hollows do. But Quelana will actually give us a unique pyromancy if we talk to her after defeating the Bed of Chaos. Everyone she wants us to kill consists of the Bed of Chaos and people we have to fight our way past to get to the Bed of Chaos. So, you have to kill everyone she asks you to take out in the process of completing the main game. But it is interesting, because so after this catastrophe, Quelana was the only one who escaped, and then invented actual pyromancy, likely making use of some of the results of the accident that created the Bed of Chaos. Before Quelana, instead of pyromancy, there was fire sorcery, which was actually a form of sorcery. Now, if you follow the only path that's actually accessible, it will take you to this fog wall. This is actually a boss fog, so be prepared. You're going to end up fighting the Ceaseless Discharge. Ceaseless Discharge uses a lot of fire, so that's one of the reasons why I have Flash Sweat. I'm also changing up my equipment. My armor is staying the same, because honestly, it's good enough, but I want the Flame Stoneplate Ring and the Ring of Steel Protection instead of the rings I had equipped. I have never had any luck avoiding being hit by the Ceaseless Discharge's attacks. So let's do this. Like, suppose a lot of people say this boss fight is really easy. I don't really think it's that easy. Partially because this is the one boss where, more than any other, I can't really seem to avoid taking damage. I just have to tank a lot of its attacks in order to take it out. And I just use my bow and large arrows and a whole bunch of Estus flasks and the right pyromancies to protect myself. And this is it. This is, I believe, another daughter of the Witch of Izalith. So this thing was probably once human. See, that landed next to me and did a whole bunch of damage. Now, if you're a pure melee character, you can take out the Ceaseless Discharge by waiting until it slams its arm down, dodging the attack, and then meleeing the arm. Seeing as my weapon does mostly fire damage, that obviously isn't much of an option for me. Fortunately, with the Stoneplate Ring, I can eat a fairly large amount of fire before I actually take significant damage. With my longbow plus 14, I can do pretty good damage to the boss. Okay, I need to heal. Drink, and return fire. This is what I mean. The hitbox weirdness is more extreme in this boss fight than it is anywhere else in Dark Souls. And so I really feel like I have never really had any luck avoiding being hit by any of the stuff that this boss likes to do. The Flash Sweat helps quite a bit. In fact... Oh, I can't have one of those active at once. I forgot, you can't have multiple buffing abilities active at the same time, so if you have Flash Sweat active, you cannot cast Iron Flash. And I have been knocked far enough away from you. I'm fairly certain you also can't cast Power Within. They actually need to get closer in order to damage it properly. Yeah, this is a fairly tedious fight. Not that difficult. If you're the level you're supposed to be when you take this thing on, you can just pelt it with whatever your preferred form of ranged attack is until it runs out of health. The big problem is, you'll notice, while I usually dodge at least some of what a boss throws at me, I'm having about as much luck doing that as I was having to that with the first fight with Seath. It's just not really, his attacks are just kind of not really dodgeable. Right. Fortunately, its health is getting pretty low, so I am going to win this fight. Okay, you are the only boss I've ever fought that gets invincibility frames when walking. Normally, walking is not considered like such an evasive maneuver that it grants you invincibility frames. And that's the end of the Ceaseless Discharge. A quick switch to my covetous Silver Serpent Ring before the... And victory achieved! Take a quick swig. And what did we accomplish by doing that? We got rid of the lava. The Ceaseless Discharge was creating the lava. And so a significant portion of it will harden or just disappear now that the Ceaseless Discharge is gone. Got humanity and a homeward bone. And 2,400 souls. And now we can get down there. If you jump off, you'll still die. That's too much of a fall for any character to survive. I'm going to quick show what's down there before I go back, but otherwise that's going to be the end for this part. After the incident with the Capra Demon, I've kind of decided to restrict myself to one boss fight for each video. Alright. Let's quick sprint our way down there. Yeah, the Ceaseless Discharge is weird. It's kind of the only way to describe that thing. Its hitboxes are more wonky than the hitboxes from any other boss in this game, and so in practice, actually dodging its attacks is pretty much impossible. Which means you need to have enough defense to actually survive a decent amount of damage from it in order to take it out, but since it's pretty easy to have things like the Rite of Kindling and the Flame Stoneplate Ring by now, that's still fairly manageable. However, this is one of the reasons why I consider, this is one of the reasons why I'm doing the Bed of Chaos last. Is because the Bed of Chaos is because I have to get past that guy, and having a lot of fire resistance and a fairly large amount of health and the Rite of Kindling is really what you need in order to be able to beat him. Okay? And if you look down here, I'll use my bow to... That's not my bow. I'll use my bow to show this off. Those are Taurus demons. Plural. I think they may actually have more health than they did as a boss. Of course, we're a lot stronger now. There are also Capra demons. Like the one right there. Yeah. Remember I said the Bed of Chaos creates demons? Well, we're going to be fighting our way past a lot of demons on our way through here. Anyway, that's the end for this part. I know it was a little shorter, but so hopefully the next one will be a bit longer. The video links are going to be odd while I'm working my way through the Demon Ruins anyway. But with that, that's the end for this part. I'll see you. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.